Okay, so here's a great little video on how to do some active release with a ball and a wall. So I got this cool little ball from Diamond Athletics. I will double check to make sure that they're still doing deliveries and put a link in there. If not, somewhere like the Foot Collective sells these great little balls, I'll add a link for that as well. Or if you need to, there's also lots on Amazon or other online sites if you want to buy a ball. If you, however, already have one, or you've got tennis balls because you like to play tennis, or you've got a dog, or you can even use things like a lint ball, which has got a whole bunch of little nubs on it. Those are great, a little extra intense. Other great balls you can use, lacrosse balls if you have them. Just be mindful with lacrosse balls because they are so dense. They will be quite a bit harder, so don't go too crazy with them. Another great ball you can use is a golf ball. Keep in mind, if you're doing golf ball work against a drywall, that's not going to work out super well. Maybe even lacrosse balls too. So if you want to do this work, you can do it from the floor. Just a little bit more difficult to get into the right spot. What are other kinds of balls you can use? I mean, I guess if you want to get creative, you could make an elastic ball if you've got enough elastics at home. You could probably even make a tape ball if you've got a bunch of hockey tape or something like that kicking around. Yes, there's lots of options out there to make or invest or find a ball. Anyways, let's get into it. So these are awesome. I'll show you the spots that we want to get into them with. There's different ways you can use the ball. You can be static and just let them sink. So if you're using the ball and you're trying to get it to sink, you want to bring it onto the spot. So right here, I'm right on the edge of my shoulder blade here, right in that meaty part, bringing it onto the wall a little bit lower. I've got my stance. You can't see it from here, but I've got a little bit of a bend in my knees, a little bit of a bend in the hips, and I'm just gonna wiggle around until I find that sweet spot, and then I can lean into it. So there's two options here with the static. You can just be static, or if you want to charge it up, you can use the self-awareness, the proprioception here, and flex into the ball, hard, 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 and then release and soften. You can do that a few times. Flex into the ball, and then soften, and then find your next sweet spot. So you're just finding that spot where you kind of like want to roll your eye around and it feels really good and really terrible all at the same time. Kind of like if you were maybe getting a massage. Again, static, dynamic, flexing into it. This is choose your own adventure, so whatever feels best for you. I like to do a combination of them all. Again, remember, when we're working with different densities of balls, this one is pretty bouncy. If you're using something like a lacrosse ball, it's going to be a lot harder. That is going to, it's kind of like a tennis ball is going to be a really light, soft massage. This guy is kind of like your medium massage. Lacrosse ball, golf ball, that's like your heavy duty deep tissue. Listen to your body. I don't want you to overwork things. If you're left with bruises at the end, it's probably gone a little too far. So really important when we're using the ball, when we're getting to things over bony prominences, like when you touch your shoulder blade, you're gonna get to hard parts that are bone. Those are areas we're not really wanting to go over top of with the ball. Getting around the edges of those bony parts is really helpful. And any knots or tension spots that you feel are also really great for the ball. This can also be really helpful for getting into the suboccipits if you've got the ball, if the chair isn't a thing for you. Trick is in the hair it gets a little bit slippery, so finding that sweet spot, and again you can roll it back and forth. You can get into the upper traps here, rolling it around in all the different ways. Other great spots, kind of hard to get in here. Armpits are often neglected, and especially if we've been kind of in this shape a lot with a lot of stress, bringing the ball into somewhere like the armpit feels terrible, but is also super therapeutic. Don't forget to get right into the armpit. Again, you can see that I'm changing my height. All of this comes from me bending at the hips, using my feet to leverage myself up. Can do that in the chest as well, bringing the chest close. It's kind of hard with the face, you just have to look away. You can start to move your arm up and down. Maybe I'll do the other side so you can see better. So bringing that into the chest, and then it's like giving it a pivot point. So very similar to how I would massage, finding that point and then bringing yourself through ranges of motion. These are all really great ways to do that. You can do that from the back as well, right beside the shoulder blade, swinging the arm up and down as an alternative to flexing onto the ball. Yeah, again, this is choose your own adventure, so whatever feels good, go for it. I hope this is helpful. See you.